on the 18th green yesterday. It was a very nice moment. And happy Father's Day to all the dads out there. I spent mine. In the morning, I played golf. In the afternoon, I watched golf. It was a perfect Father's Day for me. We had family dinner Saturday night because I can't be bothered on Father's Day because it's the final round of the U.S. Open. Oh, Shams is here, ladies and gentlemen, and that is perfect timing because we begin this hour with breaking news. I've been saying all morning long that we are T-minus 1 day and counting to this self-imposed deadline of the Milwaukee Bucks trading Giannis Antetokounmpo, and I'm told you have news for us this morning. Shams, go.
Greeny, sources tell me a trade and a resolution is coming for the Milwaukee Bucks with Giannis Antetokounmpo before the NBA draft on Tuesday night. The Bucks are in serious conversations with two finalists, the Miami Heat and the Boston Celtics. Both teams are Giannis's preferred trade destinations, but both of these packages are different deals. The variance of these deals is drastic, is dramatic. With Boston, it's Jaylen Brown-led package. It's around a veteran player, obviously a superstar caliber player. In Miami, it's a group of cost-controlled players, rookie-scale contracts, significant draft capital in that deal. And so I do want to make this clear, though. Whichever deal occurs, whether it's today or tomorrow, it is going to be a one-to-one deal. It's going to consist of Milwaukee and likely one of these two teams, and that's how it's going to be. There's no third team, fourth team in any construct right now. Now, the sides could leave this open. Remember, when Kevin Durant was traded a year ago in June, it ended up just being, it ended with those two teams, but it turned into 7 total teams by the end of the offseason. And so that could certainly happen here. But these have been intense negotiations. We know the Giannis situation is gone on for about 13 months now. The Bucks engaged in conversations at the deadline. They've been open for business since the draft combine in May. They've narrowed in on these two teams right now. Giannis, my understanding right now, he is ready to be traded, either Boston, either Miami. And we'll see what happens over the next 24 hours.
Okay, who's got questions? Obviously, this is further information, again, with Shams in our studio.
A couple of things. Number one, what Shams is basically saying is Giannis is open to extending his contract in both places. So there's no team that has an advantage over the other. Secondly, I think the most important thing that I can take away from this is Boston has decided that they are not good enough. They decided that they did not lose in the first round because Jason Tatum got hurt. They decided they lost in the first round because they were not good enough. They were not good enough to beat New York in the second round. They were not good enough to get back to the finals. They are going to make a move. And if they don't get Giannis Antetokounmpo in the next 24 hours, I would look for Jaylen Brown possibly to go somewhere else. And I would also say that about Miami. There are other teams who are interested in what Miami has made available. And if Miami doesn't get it, I would look for them possibly to move on to another deal in the following days.
Okay, interesting.
Back to the I wonder how long the extension that both teams are willing to, because he's up for a 4-year, $275 million extension, right? So will that be 3 years or 4 years?
Can't sign until October.
It's October, fair. So that's another question to ask off of it. But also, if you're Giannis, at some point, can you come down if it's between these two teams and Milwaukee can't make up their mind? Like, will you put your foot down and make a decision and tell them what you want it to be? I mean, because essentially, at the end of the day, it's going to be up to GA on what he wants to do. I know Milwaukee's going to hold on to the cards, but he actually has the card. So I wonder what gives him the best and what does he want? So does he want a franchise like Miami, where if he plays with Bam, he has to then build it all on his back again, similar to Milwaukee? Or does he want something like Boston?
I don't think it's going to be his choice, Jay. I think it's, as Shams was saying, it's two totally different directions for the Bucks organization. It's their choice.
So what's in the best interest of the Bucks? Because the best interest of the Bucks at a small market team, you build a championship roster and a competitive roster through the draft. You don't do it through free agency. They need assets, not just player assets. They need draft picks so they can build and retain players to build some type of culture and roster a little bit longer term.
Seth,
so
I think that's one of the
makes
reasons why we
sense.
don't have a deal and why we've gone on for months, because different people have different opinions. I can't emphasize this enough.
But whose
And
decision
Greeny
is
loves
it, Milwaukee or Giannis?
That's obviously Milwaukee's decision. Because if Giannis had a specific spot he would have done, Shams would have been talking about it before today.
I love when we talk about Shams like he's not in the room, but go ahead.
Greeny, I just go back. You love this, I know. I go back to the Myles Garrett trade. And why would I talk about an NFL trade? Jimmy Haslam is at the wheel, is a big factor in this as a co-owner of the Bucks. He didn't do the Myles Garrett trade until he got a player that he could build around.
Right.
He could have traded Myles Garrett for more draft capital. He traded him for Verse, who is a player under control who can play the same position. That is a fact when you think about this. If I bet Haslam has probably wants Jaylen Brown, and I could see the organization thinking the way you think, which is give us draft capital and young players.
The Bucks front office, the fact that, these are two very robust, very strong offers that the Bucks front office and their ownership are going to work through over the next 24 hours. To me, it's impressive that they have these two offers, that they've been able to leverage these two teams essentially against each other when Giannis is in the final year of his deal, essentially. He's got all the leverage. There are several teams I know, even in the last several days and weeks, that have inquired, have tried to make offers, but it's been abundantly clear where his mind is at, where he's at, which teams he wants to play for, and that has factored throughout all of this. And I think there has been in Milwaukee at least one mystery team throughout the process that they feel good about, but I don't think either offer is worse.
You know what's amazing about this? From what I understand, this is not just by the way, I think Jaylen Brown for Giannis is a pretty strong offer.
Yes.
Yeah.
The Celtics are offering more assets. Jaylen Brown plus. So while this is not an ideal situation to have to trade Giannis, and in my opinion, they probably waited a year too long, they might end up in a decent spot.
I want to go back to what Seth said, because I can see it going one of two ways. If you're in a small market, yes, you need draft assets because you're not going to get a free agent. But what you're trying to get is one great player. And in this trade with Boston, you would be getting that. In my opinion, you're getting that. I think Jaylen Brown is a player good enough to build a team around.
You're assuming Jaylen Brown's going to be A-OK in Milwaukee.
I was going to say, would he want to go? Two things I would say. Does Jaylen Brown want to go to Milwaukee, which I think is really important? And then, bam, if he wants to win the
He
championship.
is under contract for 3 more years.
All right. So is Bam and Giannis, are they good enough where they can get some guys signed at a discount around them that can give them a chance to advance in the East?
So I want to tell you that process is already underway. They have already identified players that they can chase if they get this deal done. Are those players good enough to make them as good as the Knicks? Now, that's a different
Well,
conversation.
let me go back to something here, because that's an important thing. What you just said is a very important thing. And Shams, I'll start with you. The Celtics and the Bucks have had lengthy conversations that involve Jaylen Brown going to Milwaukee. We don't know, at least I don't know, and I'll ask you, how Jaylen Brown would feel about that. What happens if we live in a world where they make that trade and Jaylen Brown doesn't want to be in Milwaukee?
All I'll say to you, Greeny, if the Milwaukee Bucks go with the Boston Celtics offer, Jaylen Brown will be in Milwaukee.
Regardless of whether he wants to or not.
That's
And by the
all
way,
I'm
we
gonna say.
also talked
That's all I'm
about
gonna say.
Jaylen Brown potentially getting that $70 million a year extension.
Well, they can't give that to him. But I think Shams is being very specific in his wording here. I'll go a little bit beyond that. Let's see what happens. He's talking about the first transaction. We'll see if there's further transactions after that. The Celtics can't mess around. The Celtics have to do a deal with the Bucks if they can do it. But that would be they might have to sell Jaylen Brown on wanting to be in Milwaukee after that happens. But either way, whether Giannis goes to Miami or Boston, Seth, obviously it's not a complete team.
Yeah.
We're both going to have to go to work, and they're going to have limited options because they'll have traded a bunch away.
Okay, so this is very exciting. So I guess what we're saying is that the trade is going to happen. If I can paraphrase all the things you said at the beginning, for those of you just jumping in here mid-conversation, the trade is going to happen. They've narrowed it down to the two teams. It's going to be it's not going to have a third and fourth teams. No.